Okay, so once again, a match in which the die roll is not gonna matter that much. I actually think Jonas would be happy to lose it. And this is something that I've discussed in the past, even with Raphael sometimes, is where you play a deck that wants to go naturally second, you're happy to lose the die roll because you're not giving away free information to your opponent. So this is definitely the case, and we'll see.
Yeah, I think Jonas, even if he goes second, he will not be that, that scared because the deck is built to go second anyway. And let's see the dice roll here.
Okay, it's a free from Jonas, and not too sure what the other one was from Raphael, but it seems to me like the roll from Jonas wasn't the best.
Now it's a 4 maybe from Jonas.
Yeah. As we can see, he's showing the talent of the 6, the one and only. So now I would be very surprised if Raphael didn't decide to go first. And we'll see. Yeah, Jonas is maining a lot of entraps. So he has Impermanence, he has Gamma, so...
Also Nibiru, so he has a lot of options.
Yeah, as I said, I think he's really happy with losing this die roll. And probably even more happy that Raphael starts things off with just the Tracer. So just
okay,
like before.
So yeah, I mean, we have seen this this move making a lot of times by our players, and right now is going to special summon the Striker Dragon, and I think maybe will activate its effect. What do you think? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, once again here, unless he has an extender, he can try and think if he wants to play around the Draw and Lock Bird. We have seen Bodan, for example, trying this out and playing it around it. And this is what Raphael is thinking right now. Do I need the Field Spell Ray, or can I just wait and play around Droll better? Yeah. Not an easy decision.
I mean, I'm quite surprised also that we have not seen so far this weekend the new material, which is, in my opinion, could be a very good addition.
Yeah, no material is sometimes sided, but as we can see, Raphael once again decides that he wants to play around, and here you can see the new version of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. If any of you didn't recognize it, is the alternate version. And let's see if Jonas is gonna have one of his entraps. Ooh, he does have the Gamma. So this is actually gonna be a potentially a turn-stopping play from Jonas.
Yeah, it could be a game changer here. I think it's the first time we've seen Gamma this weekend so far being activated. And I mean, let's see if Raphael has something else, also because he used already his normal summon, and it could be very relevant.
Yeah, and for all of you watching, we've seen the Dragon Link playing around like Ogre, Droll, and so on. But Gamma, if it actually stops Raphael here, I think a lot of you guys should consider playing the card. So Raphael does have the Guard Dragon World Legacy card. Ooh, and the emergency teleport. So well played by Raphael. He baits out his opponent negation and is still able to do a lot. So teleport gets him the Gamma. Unusual way to do it, but it's actually just amazing in this deck, since as you can see, Gamma not only a fantastic entrap but a tuner. So
it lets you play through a lot of different options, and here once again we see the Griston coming, and it's really looking good here for Raphael.
Yeah, and really enjoying the start of this match, because as you can see on the screen, Psyframe Gamma, one player using it as it was supposed to be used, I guess, an entrap, but Raphael using it as an extender. So very interesting start for this game. And once again, we might just see a Dragon Link deck ignoring the entraps from his opponent.
Yeah, I think that this format, entraps are not enough sometimes. That's why we discussed it before, saying that most of the times you need multiple entraps to stop your opponent. Also because Dragon Link plays a lot of extenders that allows you to play around entraps, and that's what Raphael is doing at the moment. So I think it will do a couple of interruptions for sure, and maybe it will also pass into Union Carrier so that he has also the extra link interruptions. But I mean, at this point, he still doesn't know what his opponent is playing, but I think he's not considering his moves, and he will end his turn with the classic hieratic seal plus the Savage Dragon.
Yeah, it shouldn't be anything out of the ordinary, and I'm pretty sure that he doesn't know what his opponent is playing as yours, and since Jonas is playing 41, not even playing 60 or anything like that, it's tough to get a read on what he could be playing.
And I also really like the fact that Raphael decided to maximize all of the good copy, like all the good combo cards in his deck, so that he wants to have like the most extenders in his deck, like Teleport. We have not seen anyone playing Teleport so far today, but I think it's a really good addition also because right now he can use the Pisti, and yeah, I mean, it's really good.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I do know Raphael tends to just like to go for a free off, and I think it makes the most sense. If you think a card is just good enough as an extender, you should probably just play the most copies of it if it doesn't have a major throwback. So definitely agree with his deck building choices. He also seems confident enough. Usually he's quite a fast player, I would say. Sometimes too fast.
Too fast.
Yeah, which is my only worry. But for now, everything that he's doing is fine. I think the card highlighted at the moment is the real reason why we are actually in this position. And some players are only playing the one copy of the World Legacy card Dragon, while he's playing 3 copies of it.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it's kind of arguable because, I mean, as I said before, this deck relies a lot of your extenders, so the more you have, the better are the chances that you can combo. And I think Raphael in this moment is really happy that he drew both the Guard Dragon and the Emergency Teleport.
Absolutely, and it works really well, especially because not only is it's an extender, but with the second effect you can actually move the zone, which means that with some hands you need one less extender because you can just move the LP. And at that point you need one less dragon in total. But for now, continuing to combo off, and as you said, he's gonna get the Savage extra deck lock combo.
Yeah, I think, of course, Raphael doesn't know what his opponent is playing, and in this kind of format, you really want to have this kind of interruption. I mean, you have the one negation with Savage Dragon, and along with that, you can also play the Union Carrier, which allows you to stop your opponent from special summoning monster from the extra deck, which is really good. I mean, he doesn't know that Jonas is playing Dinosaur, but it was anyway able to combo off by playing around Gamma.
And as you can see here, the Dragon Buster Sword comes down. Not the best opening, to be honest, but he's gonna be quite unhappy when he finds out is Dinosaur. Also, as we said, Jonas is playing copies of Mystic Mine. Let's see if he's gonna pull this off. And as you can see here, Raphael, I'm pretty sure that if we could see his face, he's quite the one to have a facial expression. Wouldn't be that happy. He can potentially negate it with the Savage, but I don't think there is much of a reason. The main reason would probably be a Miscelano, because if there is a Miscelano in his hand, then it's better to negate the Fossil Dig. But outside of that, not really.
I mean, you simply wait here and you just hope that your opponent doesn't have a good hand enough to shut down your field. Of course, he's not happy enough with this choice, and
Ooh, but the Draw and Lock Berry comes down from Raphael, so not only does he shut down the extra deck, but he has the Draw and Lock. Now the Lost Word is coming down.
Yeah, I mean, in this moment, the Oviraptor is completely useless, and it actually...
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be the only hand traps that could help Raphael in this moment, because rather than that, I don't see any other cards helping Raphael in this spot, so...
And as you can see on screen, this is the main card that combos off with your Union Carrier, and the whole reason why this deck is able to just completely destroy extra deck based strategies. So similar to how Lithium is using Domain, by using this equip monster, you're able to completely shut down your opponent.
Maybe Jonas now wants to just pushes a little bit. Maybe he wants to see if Raphael wants to activate the Savage Dragon, because he can also send one monster with Oviraptor's effect. But I mean, it's
okay.
a tough one. Yeah, it goes for Miscellanous.
He does send the Miscellano, which means he can remove it, banish it from the graveyard to special summon the crocodile, what I call him. And now the main thing to look at is this Bottled Savage Dragon, which is the only line of defense left from Raphael. Can Jonas find a way to play around it? He's gonna use the effect to try and get the double pill. And what do you think? Should you negate it or just wait for the pill?
I mean, it's not easy, because Raphael also needs to consider that maybe Jonas could have drew the Tyranno, so maybe he would have another problem to deal with. So, although Raphael has the extra deck lock, I mean, he doesn't really need it in this moment. So, there's the Lost War that could maybe give Raphael some troubles, but I think that Jonas, yeah, it just passes, yeah. Also because there was the Dragon lock, so he would not activate the Archer's effect.
Yeah, exactly. So Jonas maybe doesn't think about the Dragon lock, but it wasn't an option for him to get there, and that's why also the Oviraptor was less effective. It was forced to send a card from the deck to the graveyard, so he didn't really have much of an option. So at this point, the big question is, does Jonas have an hard-drawn Tyranno? Maybe that he has a chance. Otherwise, I think that's going to be quite tough.
So now Raphael, I mean, of course he has a good field, but he really needs to draw something good out of his deck, because rather than that, I mean, he has quite a few options, but the game is not over yet, guys.
No, absolutely, and he does get some advantage back, so it's looking much better for Jonas, but we do have to keep in mind that there is the Lost World on the field, so all of Raphael's monsters, the Iron Dinosaurs, are gonna have 500 attack left, so you really don't wanna forget about that and maybe take a bad attack on one of the monsters.
Yeah, I really needs to be careful in this spot. I suppose that in this moment, Raphael, I mean, he has negation for the turn after, but if a Tyranno comes down, it will be really difficult for him to deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't do nothing better, because Jonas had the Gamma, and the only thing that Raphael could do was going Union Carrier into Savage Dragon. It was the only chance he had. So let's now see if this will be enough, but it's still long.
It does take some damage, but doesn't look that impressive compared to other fields we have seen previously in the day. The key thing was the absence of erratic spheres. So in the previous rounds, every time we've seen a Dragon Link do their combo, they ended on spheres, which outside of having one more interaction, the best thing it does is give you the Brotor, which gives you the Levianeer next turn. That means that you can push a lot more damage, get rid of a lot more cards or resources, either on the field or end from your opponent. Since Raphael couldn't get his hands on the spheres, his opening was much slower. So.
Yeah, I mean, at this moment, there's not that much going on. I mean, Raphael has the Savage Dragon, which is really good, but if Jonas has, for example, one Oviraptor, then Raphael really needs to think about it, because one Tyranno will come down, and he will have a lot of problems doing it. So it's a really hard one. Also because Raphael uses a lot of his own resources the turn before. and
yeah, he's left pretty much top decking at this point.
Yeah.
So let's see. Not many decisions have to be made. What is Jonas gonna pick up here? Let's remember that there are also Mystic Mines in his deck. So if he can force out the Savage Negation and then go for a mine, this is just game over because Raphael has no outs in his main deck. We have seen this happen quite often in the past. But he normal summons the Rex instead. Gonna try and attack over the Union Carrier, I think. But he has potentially other plays he can do. Ooh, I think he top decked it. Wow. He top decks the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. And
once again, it's gonna cause Raphael a lot of problems. We have seen this card a lot during the weekend, during our matches before. And yeah, it's going to be very hard.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this is all an evil joke created by our friends so that I have to watch Tyranno for the entire weekend, bringing up terrible memories of the World Championship. But I can know for sure how good of a card that is, and even in today's format, it's really dominating the field.
Yeah.
And Jonas even said it better in the interview. He said, sure, I do like other decks better, but Tyranno is just the perfect card against today's metagame. So I just gotta play Dinosaur. And for now, it seems like it's working out for him. So
yeah, Tyranno makes the real difference for Dinosaur, and it lets you play through all your opponent's interaction very easily. And I think Raphael knows at this point what is going to happen. Also because Jonas is looking very good to me. I mean, Raphael is left with only one card in his hand, and Jonas has also access to his own extra deck in this moment. And
yeah,
he will be able to deal a lot of damage too. So
he's back at having the extra deck, and now I feel like he's in the driver's seat. He put face down the Savage, and while Dragon Link is a really good deck at going first and potentially even second, after a while it just runs out of steam, and the main thing it runs out of is extra deck monsters. So it's very rare that when a game goes this far down the line, it can come back and still recover. So I think Jonas is pretty much in a good position to take this home. And no surprise, to be honest. Like we said, that this deck is really good in this matchup, and that the die roll was not going to matter that much. It's the second time today that we see a Dinosaur deck going second and still winning against Dragon Link.
yeah, I mean, Jonas was able to wait. He just took some damage for what Raphael was able to put on his previous turn, but I think Raphael is just going to game 2. And
yeah. No surprise once more. Raphael, really experienced player. He knows when he's over, and when this first game lasted almost 20 minutes, you really want to pick up your cards because you know your opponent deck is better at dealing cheap damage. So now we're gonna go to game 2, and here once more we are gonna see a lot of mind games. Jonas has even more entraps in his side deck. He has Lancia and Ash Blossom. So those are definitely options. And Metaverse is also something extremely powerful.
Yeah, I mean, it's here just in case if you want to lock your opponent into Mystic Mine.
Yeah, and there is one big thing to say. Like, Mystic Mine is not at all an obvious card that is run by Dinosaur. In the previous games, we have seen Dinosaur, and those players were not using it in the main or in the side deck. If in game 1 Raphael would have lost to Mystic Mine, then maybe he could have considered keeping in Cosmic Cyclone or outs like that. But he doesn't know about it. So what we could see now is Raphael just not having an out for Mystic Mine even in game 2, and Jonas completely catching him off guard. What do you think Raphael is gonna side in? Considering that?
Well, I think Raphael is going first, no matter what, this moment. And one interesting things that we can notice is that he's playing the Bearer Statue of the Heavens, just to lock your opponent, but it doesn't really do that much, unfortunately, for him, because it will lock your opponent like for the extra deck as well. But I mean,
yeah, I mean that works incredibly well with the new Geek Smack card, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure it is that great in this specific matchup.
The point is that it's very difficult to play against Dinosaur because he does not only have his own engine, so the Dinosaur engine, but also he can rely on Mystic Mine. So if he's really able to go through his cards and then activate the Mystic Mine, also he could steal the game with just one card.
Yeah. I think the main thing is if Raphael is gonna be brave enough to make his opponent start. We saw that was pretty much what won the match in the previous one we saw. Dinosaur can brick, and especially after siding, if it sides like Mystic Mine, as we were saying, or even more entraps, and you let it go first, then you can really capitalize on using those cards. And it does have Artifact Lancia, which I think is also quite valuable. Usually it's there for the mirror match, but it guarantees that Tyranno is not going to come down, because the way you summon Tyranno right now is by using by summoning it from the end, which is kind of rare. Otherwise, you just summon it via Pill, and both of those cannot resolve if there is an Artifact Lancia. So I think that's guaranteed to be in the deck. Anyway, we are gonna start with game 2 right now. Who is it gonna be that goes first?
Looks like Raphael's thinking about his move.
Yeah.
He's good.
So Raphael goes first. We have the option to see the first Chuo victory of the day. Up until now, we always went to game 3. Is it gonna be the same thing? The start is okay, so quick launch, definitely a really good way to open things up. Still having his normal summon available. We saw Bowden doing this to play around Roll and Lock, where he just normal summoned the Red Eyes, and instead of going for the Link 1, he went for Romulus. So maybe that's one way to do it.
Yeah, now that Raphael knows that his opponent is playing Dinosaur, maybe he also knows that Jonas is playing multiple copies of different hand traps. So let's see if he wants to play around the Draw Log, but I think he declared the Striker Dragon, so maybe he really needs to get as fast as possible access to his booked sector launch.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like Raphael has many other cards that are gonna add something to his hand, because he doesn't even think about the effect of his Link.
No draw the lock so far here.
Yeah,
So.
no draw comes down from Jonas. He's gonna be quite happy about that.
Now Raphael really needs to think if Jonas has so many other entraps, because otherwise we'll be in trouble. As we saw before, Gamma was a really powerful card, and maybe it just doesn't have that many extenders. Just thinking about it.
Let's see. Maybe it just has another Rocket Master. That's the same what I was thinking. So the Sector Launch is activated. He special summons from the end, and still has access to his normal summon. This is probably going to be the Kristen coming down once more. Oh no, it's actually the Romulus. Okay. Ooh, and Gamma once more from Jonas. You can see Raphael being absolutely tilted, we can say, by this. He still has access to his normal summon, but this is gonna hurt so much. So guys, Jonas is the first one to win going second in game 1, and it was due to the Psyframe Gamma. Now in game 2, Psyframe Gamma again showing how good it is. I think we might have a winner for the best hand trap right now. So
yeah, I mean, we said earlier on today, Gamma is the best hand traps of the format so far.
But once again, I think this is pretty much card by card replay of round 1. So
he drew the Phalanx.
Yeah, he drew the Phalanx, but thanks to his hand, he didn't really commit to a normal summon yet. And he was able to actually go for the Kristen regardless. But now the pressure is on Raphael, to be honest, because this is the same thing that has happened game one, and you lost. So usually, by the nature of the game, you should try to change what you did in game one. And Raphael, I don't think he can. He's absolutely doing the same exact thing. And sure, it can depend on Jonas' end, but Raphael also had the draw unlock. So if, for example, now he doesn't have the draw unlock, which is totally possible, it means that his opening is the same and even weaker of the last game. So I want to say my money in that case would be on Jonas. But maybe it just changes his combo and he doesn't go for the Union Carrier anymore, which I think is pretty much useless.
Yeah, indeed, he goes for the Herald instead, and I think it's a wise choice, in my opinion. Also because the Union Carrier doesn't hurt the Dinosaur deck that much, and I think the Herald is a good choice.
Yeah, so now he's, as I said, he loses game one, and now he knows that he has to try and change his combo, and it's doing exactly this. So he summons the Herald of the Arclight instead, which is quite annoying to deal with, and then he goes for the Brotor. So once he has done, he's able to go for a few more Link plays.
Yeah, he's just now considering his options. I think that the turn before, the game before, he played kind of differently. Also because he was carried about his opponent playing the same deck, so Dragon League mirror match. But now I think, I mean, he could go into the Savage Dragon as well, but he has the Arclight, so maybe he will be able to special summon the Hieratic Seal as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a goal, but now you can see once more why Raphael is playing 3 copies of the War Legacy Guard Dragon. In this spot, he was pretty much locked, but only due to the second effect of moving the zone, he's able to continue his combo and activate the LP as well, which is huge here. His turn was pretty much over, and by having the Herald on the field, he plays around Nibiru, so it's looking definitely better than it was a few moments ago.
Yeah, I really like the way Raphael built his own deck, because as I said before, he decided to maximize the good cards, so the extenders, and in this case, the Guard Dragon is paying off. So I think it's looking good rather than the first game instead, and let's see.
It's a, let's say, higher risk but higher reward kind of decision. And for now, it seems like it's paying off for Raphael. But once again, my main concern is just trying to adapt his combo, knowing that his opponent is Dinosaur. And once again, the main concern has to be the possibility of a Mystic Mine.
Yeah, I mean, I would be very surprised if Raphael negates Jonas cards and then Jonas has a Mystic Mine in his hand. Yeah. I think Raphael will not be happy about that. But he's still able to combo off in this spot, and he's actually considering what to do. Yeah, he's just slowing things down. He doesn't want to make any mistake at this point.
Yeah, and as we can see here on the screen, this is Raphael's nightmare coming to life should Jonas have one of the copies in his deck. He maximized them, so he plays Terraforming, 3 Mystic Mines, and Metaverse. So he has all of the possible copies to his access, and you can tell that it is mostly for this matchup in particular. So the Beastie now is able to come down and bring back the Tracer. So this is going to be a really nice opening because he gets the Hieratic Spheres, and he's also going to be able to get the Savage. So I definitely enjoyed this opening from Raphael. He understood that he needed to do something different to not lose the game again. And he's trying his best to change things up a little bit. So
yeah, this is way better, and this is looking good for Raphael. I mean, in game one, there was not that much he could do, but right now, let's see if Jonas can even come back into this game. I mean, Raphael had a very good hand, although Jonas stopped him with Gamma on Romulus, but was able to combo anyway.
So this is the first big question for Raphael. Extravagance, and I have seen a lot of different opinions about this, whether you should use one of your negation and extravagance. So on one end, I am a fan of that, because potentially you can receive 2 different cards, and the chance that one of them is something that you want to negate is quite high. But on the other hand, I know other players who are just like, I only negate the cards that are actually gonna break my board. So
yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
What do you think? Should he negate the extravagance?
I mean, I would wait at this point.
Okay.
He really needs to consider that what card do I really want to negate. So I would not blind negate the extravagance in this spot, although Jonas gets a +1.
But what if Dark Ruler No More comes down? That's the thing.
That would
like,
be a huge problem.
I think you need to negate it. I agree with Raphael. Like, I think you just need to negate it. There are so many cards that can be used, but let's see here. We can also have a triple tactics come down. It's Oviraptor, so again we can see the only other negation from Raphael being the Herald. Otherwise, it's a little problematic because you can get to the battle phase, but then he has the spheres to protect it, so it's a close call. I don't think this one is mandatory to be negated, especially since the Herald is there. You cannot use the Miscelano, otherwise it would go banished. So yeah, I agree with Raphael that this time the negation is not mandatory. So.
And now Jonas really needs to find his own way, because he needs to deal with the Hieratic Seal and also the Herald. So he has a couple of problems to deal with, and I mean, he's looking good for Raphael.
Yeah, I think for now he's playing it extremely well. He recognized that he needed to do something different, and he is playing the best of his ability to just using his negations wisely. Now the Pancratops comes down, and this is a little bit of an issue. Possible that Raphael didn't take this too much into consideration, but let's see. What can happen at a minimum is that he just gets the Pancratops on the field and then tries to enter the battle phase and force out both the Hieratic spheres and the Herald.
Yeah, I mean, Jonas could go into battle phase. Yeah, I mean, I think is what he wants to do. He could enter into battle phase, forcing the Hieratic Seal. I mean, Raphael would just be obliged to activate it.
So now, big difference from before. As we said, everything going to plan. He enters battle phase, and he's gonna be able to force out both the spheres and the Herald. Because usually what happens here is the Raphael uses the spheres, and then you chain the Pancratops, and they have to use the Herald. Yeah, no surprise here.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jonas has these plans in his mind, and there was not that much that Raphael could do at this point. He has to negate with the Herald. Yeah.
Pretty straightforward play. Now he gets to summon something from the deck, but I don't even think he has the Brotor anymore, or am I mistaken? Like, he used it earlier on, I am pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he has it still. Okay. So this is a big difference that we were talking about before. Last game, he didn't have access to the spheres, which meant that if Jonas dealt with this board, then he was done. This time he does have it, which means he gets to search his deck for a card that he can use next turn. So not only has Jonas need to deal with this board, but then next turn there is something Raphael can do. And now the Oviraptor obviously is back to Jonas' hand.
Yeah, at this point, Jonas really needs to have something more to deal with Raphael's field, also because he already entered into the battle phase, and okay, he has the terraforming now.
Okay.
Wow.
And this is actually
wow,
potentially game losing. The prediction is coming down to life, and unfortunately Mystic Mine is there, and you can now see why Jonas played it this way. He activates Mystic Mine, and now this could be game over. If Raphael didn't keep any of his outs in the deck, we might have the first 2-0 game of the day.
Wow, yeah, as we were saying before, Mystic Mine was not a card that we have seen so far this day, but here it comes. So it will maybe cost Raphael the game, but I mean, well played by Jonas that saved his old cards. But now Raphael really needs to consider if he has some outs in his
it's
deck.
absolutely tough, and I'm looking at Raphael's deck, and even in the side deck, the only out he has is the one copy of RP Feather Duster. There is not another card, and by knowing Raphael, like, I would bet a lot that going first, he has not kept that card in, especially against dinosaurs. So I'm not sure if he's just not willing to give up the game right now, but I don't see a world in which Jonas loses this game. Okay. Jonas, though, doesn't... I guess this could be a mind game from Raphael as well. If he doesn't scoop, Jonas might think he has an out somewhere in his deck, so he doesn't think he can be that passive. And in this moment, Mystic Mine is acting as a protector from his card. Raphael cannot use the Savage, he cannot use Entraps, so this Oviraptor is free to do whatever he wants.
Jonas really needs to be careful in this situation because on one hand, Mystic Mine could let him win the game quite easily because, as we said before, Raphael could have the one copy of RP's Feather Duster in his main deck. But on the other hand, if he didn't keep the RP's Feather Duster in the main deck, he would have no outs to Mystic Mine. So Jonas really needs to be careful in this spot, and let's see if he wants to go on with his combo. Maybe he just wants to push. Also because there are only 3 minutes remaining, so I think he also needs to consider that time is a thing at this moment, and he really needs to be careful. And here he's just searching with the Oviraptor's effect. He's just considering his options here.
Yeah, as you said, he's risking it because if he's not using this Oviraptor for a particular purpose, then I'm not exactly sure what's the point of using it like that. Okay, he does have it. So, okay, he's gonna combo off. This makes a lot of sense then. He can get the Archosaur from the deck and then just destroy the baby, but once he does that, he has to be careful not to fall victim of his own Mystic Mine, because now when he gets the monster, he's gonna be able to add the peel, but whatever monster he gets here from the baby, he's not able to activate his effect, so it's probably gonna be a Rex, I would say.
Or yeah, maybe you could also, yeah, I think Rex, and then he could go into Dolka, for example.
Potentially, or I mean, it all depends if he thinks that he can destroy his own Mystic Mine, because I'm worried about himself, like locking himself up. Yeah. If he has a Lost Word, maybe he's just saving it for the end of the combo and using Mystic Mine as a prohibition, let's say, for all possible answers from Raphael.
Okay, so he brings back another copy of Miscellaneo from his deck. And things are really looking good from Jonas at this point. He really needs to be careful to play because there's the Mystic Mine, so he really needs to consider this.
Oh, so yeah, Linkuribo comes down, Secure Gardener might come down, but as you say, Dolka is an option. I'm still unsure where we're going with this. Like, I would be surprised if there was no Lost Word in Jonas' hand.
Yeah, I mean, I expect Jonas having a Lost Word in his hand, because otherwise it will be kind of weird, but at this point he has
Okay.
Okay.
So he goes for Tornado, which is another way of dealing with the Mystic Mine. He goes for Secure Gardener here, and wait a second though, because now they have the same amount of monsters, so can't Raphael just use the Savage?
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Raphael could have used the Savage here to negate the peel, right?
I know, because also has the
there's a token.
right?
Yeah, no, there is a token which is
yeah.
barely visible. Unfortunately, yeah, Raphael has a little bit of a smaller screen, so there is another monster on the field, which I thought was just a token there, just like the one on Jonas' side. But he does have a third monster, so the peel was safe, and now he can use his own Tornado possibly to clear the Mystic Mine, but...
Yeah, and...
But okay.
So he did use the...
Yeah, he used the Tyranno and just booked everything up. Then gonna use the Tornado to clear his own Mystic Mine. Which is pretty good because next turn he can use the second half of the Tornado Dragon to just clear the World Legacy Guard Dragon from the field. So Tornado really putting in some work. You don't always see it used on your own cards, but I remember it was a very cool interaction with the artifacts as well. Whenever you drew the bad ones, you can always just make Tornado and destroy your own monsters. It was definitely an option in the previous formats. And as we can see, this is being the MVP for Jonas, and potentially I would have never seen this coming, but the third 2-0 victim might be Raphael Neven, which was arguably one of the favorites to win the entire event. So
yeah, that was quite impressive by Jonas. He was able to come back into this game, which seemed like going to Raphael, but the Mystic Mine, we have to say, sealed the game, and then Jonas was able to.
Yeah, I mean, we are still unsure whether this game is going, and I really hope that Jonas can pull this off, because if for any turn of events Raphael wins back this game and then wins the entire match, because now time is actually cold. We gotta understand whether it was called during Jonas' main phase or battle phase, but I think this will not matter that much, because as time is called, Jonas was 1-0 up, which means it would be the winner of this match regardless if you can deal damage or not. So we are gonna wait for some confirmation from the judges whether it was called during the main phase or battle phase, but
yeah, I mean, just making some clarification here. So I just think that in this moment it's really, I think he really needs to understand. I mean, at this point, if time is up, Jonas will.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
what I'm saying. It doesn't really matter when time is called, because as the rules are, if you are 1-up and the life points are even, then you are just the winner of the match. You don't even need to go to the end of the phase. And I think Raphael just picked up his cards. So unfortunately, Raphael loses 2-0. Jonas moves on to the top 8. So we can go back to us for the post-match discussion, because it's gonna be 2-0 very soon. So really good show by both of these guys. Once again, Raphael, I don't know, I don't have much to say, because Raphael really proved himself to be a really strong player. He didn't make any mistake, but unfortunately he's the first one to lose 2-0. So let's make a recap and quickly go back to us.